Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 439. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Mr. Paul Despawn. Despawn, how you doing?
I'm good. I can't help it, right? Every time you say your name, I can't help but dance along to it. It's the MC Fixer.
I hit the beats.
You gotta hit the beats, right? No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been ill for the last few days, so I've not played a lot of video games. But I'm finally feeling alive-ish, kind of. I played a game today, so that was fun.
I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Take it. We'll take it. I went for a steak dinner today, so we did different things. I
had soup.
Yeah, no, I don't like soup. Not a soup fan.
know you
If you
don't eat
didn't
food.
know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on youtube.com/MyXboxandMe and all podcast services. If you want to support the show financially, have it to patreon.com/MCFixer. A few changes going to be happening real soon. We're at the end of the year, so keep an eye out. Obviously, we'll talk about them here on the show, on the podcast, and everywhere else. Make sure you go follow us on Twitch. We're going to be live hopefully 3 days a week over there soon. We have just passed 80 followers now, which very happy about. We are on the road to affiliation. I think all we got to do now is stream a certain amount of hours and have a certain amount of viewers, and we're sorted for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots and lots of good stuff to come. And also, please hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed. You may be watching the video, you might be listening to the audio. Please go hit the subscribe button. Last time I checked, we've gone under our goal that we were trying to hit a while ago, as we've, the bots have been getting deleted off YouTube, which is a good thing. I'm happy about that. I don't want bots subscribing to us, but it's put us at 1.49k, and we want to be at least over the 1.5. So if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. Hitting the subscribe button don't cost you a thing and helps us out immensely. So please do that if you can. Shout out to our Patreon producer this week, Mr. Erengard. As always, we do appreciate you, sir. Topic of the show this week. It's a sad one, Despawn. It's a sad one for me. A really sad one for me personally. The one and only E3, the show that pretty much got me into video game journalism, really. I would say, like, watching IGN religiously, and then obviously kind of funny when Greg Miller, Colin, Tim, Nick, Kevin all left and went over to make kind of funny, and then obviously I used to tune into GameSpot when they had their stage, and yeah, there's been a lot. But E3, the show known as E3 that has been dying for many years, let's be honest, has officially closed its doors, which they tweeted out from their official Twitter account, which is, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last. Don't think I quite agree with that. The time has come to say goodbye. Thanks to the memories, GGWP. E3. What are some of your favorite memories from E3?
I mean, the one that stands out is obviously Keanu Reeves calling everyone breathtaking.
Oh, okay.
It's just the one, right? I feel like it was E3. Was it the original Final Fantasy VII remake announcement there?
I believe so.
Yeah, that one was a good one. I feel so many good ones. Xbox, like the first Halo, and I know everyone doesn't like the Halo Infinite outcome, but the original
Poncho Chief. Yeah.
When that thing came out of the desert and it finally showed it was Master Chief. Oh, what an announcement that was! Yeah.
I'm
excited.
I'm
just talking about it. Dead. No, I'm just talking about it. Excites me, and this is why I'm so sad about this news. Just,
I think the thing for me is like the Xbox One launch was one that always will spring to mind, just because I've never been a fanboy, but I was definitely an Xbox apologist then, especially during that early. I don't think we had started the podcast just yet, so you didn't get to hear fully all that. But I remember having the arguments with my friends after that showcase of like, yeah, always being online's a great thing. What do you mean? No disc? Yeah, the sharing games, who cares? But I remember that, just watching that showcase, and this was before I was covering the industry, watching the reaction streams and things like that, and being like, walking away from that being like, That was bad, right? That was
Mhm.
bad. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was a lot. But I like the TV stuff. I remember that being like, yeah, but I like TV. I watch TV. I love the TV. TV's good. Yeah, good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
TV.
I was the exact
That and
opposite for that one.
yeah.
I was like, TV? Why am I hearing about TV? Why am I hearing the NFL app on my Xbox? I don't care. Tell me about the
No,
games.
I'll be
And
honest
it's
with
just
you. I was all in. Snap
yeah.
when they did the snap
To be
feature. I was
fair,
like,
the snap feature
yes.
was cool. I'm sad that that went. Being able to, I found it. I don't know about if you ever used it for like guides and tutorials.
No,
I used to snap a YouTube to the left while I was playing a game if I got
no.
stuck on something.
That's
Uh,
what they wanted you to do, but I didn't. I always had a PC next to me. Why was I doing that? I did
ooh, look
no,
at you,
go
Mr.
away.
PC
Go
gamer.
away. Well, I had a laptop next to me, but same thing. Um, yeah. So E3, man, E3. E3 is the only show that I never was able to get to.
Hmm.
Obviously, I got myself to TwitchCon for shows I wanted to go to. By the way, got myself to EXO in 2019. Got myself to TwitchCons now. We've done a load of great stuff, but this year was going to be the year that I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just do it.
I was the
Obviously,
same.
it is nowhere near what it was
Hmm.
back in the day, because back in the day it used to be just press, so it was just press and enthusiast press type situation, and you just have those type of people walking the floor doing their appointments, running their rounds. Obviously it very much changed into like a PAX or a Comic-Con type thing as years have gone by. But yeah, man, sad to see E3 go. I really am. The iconic photo of the PlayStation and Xbox booth being next to
Yeah,
each
the side by
other.
sides. Yeah.
um yeah, there will never be anything like that probably ever again. And just the pure hype of like sorting out a schedule. I remember sorting out schedules for like pre-reaction and post-show
Hmm.
content. Like, and you're looking at your schedule, and it's like, man, I'm gonna be awake for like 3 days straight, just
Yeah.
chugging Red Bulls and just watching all this video game um
That was it.
information being put to you. Yeah.
Did you always have the Google Doc? All right, well, this starts at this time, so that starts at that time.
Hmm.
So if I get some sleep at this time, I can
Nope, there
then
was no sleep.
no sleep.
Literally,
Okay,
I was just editing on the stream. I literally
fair.
used to be wake up, react, pre-show,
Hmm.
react, post-show, edit everything, put it out onto the next one. Boom, boom,
Hmm.
boom, boom, boom. It was like a well-oiled machine that wasn't well-oiled.
It was just kind of a rusty little machine
It
just
was a
creaking in
machine.
the
It
corner.
was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a machine. Yeah,
yeah.
but
No,
yeah, there's nothing like it though. There really is nothing
yeah.
like it.
I'm
It's a shame.
again. I'm genuinely sad to see it go. I feel like the writing was on the wall for a few years now, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think obviously Reed Pop came in and took over, like arranging it,
Hmm.
but that got cancelled. I, so as a fan, this is going to sound controversial. I think inviting fans to the show was the first nail in the coffin. I feel like a lot of people started backing out soon after they started letting just the normal community in there.
I don't know if that was the problem. I think the problem was the biggest problem was obviously COVID was a big part of it.
Mhm.
As soon as game companies realized, and EA were, to give credit where credit is due to EA. EA were the first to really pull out of it and go, why don't we just do this ourselves?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually went to the first ever EA Play as well. That was
Mhm.
at when they did it in LA and England simultaneously,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they kept switching from. And I was in the crowd for the England one, obviously not the LA one.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, EA were the first to pull out properly,
Mhm.
and then the nail in the coffin really was when Sony pulled out. If I'm being honest, as soon as Sony were like, "We
Why are we
don't
doing
need
this?
to be paying you this much money to do this show anymore," that's when I feel like and again, I feel like that's when they really went downhill. You've got to give credit to Sony where it's due. They have really good showcases usually.
Mhm.
Their showcases have usually got a lot of hype stuff being announced that talks to most gamers, third party and first party. And yeah, they pulled out, and then Xbox pulled themselves to the Nokia Center, and the writing was on the wall for a while. It was like E3 was more a terminology than it was an actual show of
Yeah.
like E3 week, but EA over here and PlayStation over here and
Mhm.
Xbox over here, and then
Nin-
you've got a couple of people at E3.
Nintendo will do a direct in a week or so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
I think that, like you said there, like COVID was like one of the big parts of it. Is like everyone started having to not be at E3, so they had to realize how to do it all remotely. And by the time they'd done that, awesome, you just chucked out the lining, but that's fine. But no, once they did that, it was like, I think once people realized that they could just do these presentations themselves, they didn't need to be on the show floor. They could release demos and early builds online for people, which I think a lot. I know the Game Awards started doing that around Summer Game Fest a lot of the time
Yeah.
as well, like trying to get companies to release like demos around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once that started happening, obviously like E3 became kind of surplus to requirements.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the thing that makes me the saddest, though, as well as obviously the E3 moments, everyone loves a good E3 moment. We mentioned the Keanu Reeves and things like that.
I don't feel like that stuff's gone though. I don't feel like
I don't
that's
think it
actually
is.
gone.
What I was going to say is, while those moments linked intrinsically to E3 and not going to be there, there'll be other presentations and things like that. The thing that upsets me the most is the effect this is going to have on the industry at large, especially when we talk about like indie developers. Because the indie developer access to publishers and things like that happened at E3
Mhm.
behind closed doors, I don't think a lot of people have tried to replicate that.
You got Day of the Devs that
You
happens
got
in San
you've
Francisco.
got like Day of the Devs. I think like PAX do something
Actually, a little
similar.
bit, yeah.
Gamescom a little bit as well, but like nothing to the level where there was like a judges week where people would be there to view just the games in the back office. And again, those are the type of games that it'd be the first time anyone ever gets to see them. Those are the things that get publishing deals for people, and I'm worried that that's going to have an effect on the industry at large.
Yeah, I do get what you mean. I mean, I guess it's like anything, right? I feel like we're going to have to take a step back to take a step forward. I'd love to see another industry event happen in
Yeah.
place of E3. I don't know who will put it on. Maybe Jeff Keighley can. But
As long as it gives people more
I
than
don't-
30 seconds to talk
I
about the
think-
games.
yeah. I feel like it's not so much the show floor. Smaller show floor, but just for press
Mhm.
slash, enthusiast press or whatever you want to call what it is we do. I think there's still a place for that in the industry. There isn't. This show floor space is going to cost you £700,000, and that's
Yeah.
the problem where E3 was, which was like, you want show floor space at E3, and you want your big, set piece of,
Mhm.
Zelda or Halo or whatever it is. We're going to charge you out the arsehole for it just because we're E3. And I think just people were just like, we don't need you. Like,
Yeah.
you need us. We don't need you. And that's really where E3 got lost in the sauce, I feel like, as of like from a publishing point of view of like, yeah, you need us. No,
No.
we don't.
No,
We
and I think that's, like I say, once COVID hit and people realized that they didn't need E3, it's very quick to look at their books and be like, why are we spending like thousands of pounds?
Hundreds
Just-
of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of pounds just to do something we can do online for like a fraction of the cost. We've already got a studio back in the back offices. So we'll just use that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head there. Really, it's we can do this at a fraction of the cost and still have the exact, if not better, reach because we control the messaging of the whole day. Look at Ubisoft again. I don't think Ubisoft Showcase was that great, but they held the whole day of news for that day. Like we were all talking about the E3, the Ubisoft Showcase.
Yeah.
They didn't have to share that with a Bethesda showcase coming in 3 hours or a Nintendo Direct coming in 2 hours. I think for gamers, we're losing that magic of like all that stuff at one day.
Mhm.
But as a whole, it's probably better for our industry from a first party front.
Yeah.
Maybe not from an indie perspective or people
Yeah.
like that, but from a first party front, I feel like they get to control their messaging way better now.
Yeah, I think from a production side, like from our side personally, like I like having the longer run times of like everything not being like 3 presentations in a day kind of thing. Like give me one a day. While it's fun to do that whole down 12 Red Bulls and start vibrating as you start editing, making thumbnails, that's great. But like being able to like sit down and like say do a presentation, do a post show, actually break it down analytically and like go over the things that you're hyped about, rather than worry about, right, we're gonna have to do that tomorrow because there's another presentation now, and then we need to get the thumbnails for that, and we need to do all this and that. It's like I like having it be a little bit more spaced out to an extent.
No,
To an extent,
right.
yeah.
I think as a whole, you're right. Like, I think selfishly, I just loved the hype of what we had, and we did. It was just so it was such a hype moment of like
Yeah.
watching the Xbox. I don't think we'll ever get, and it was a little toxic, I guess, but like, I don't think we'll ever get the who had a better showcase, Xbox or PlayStation anymore.
I think
You
we'll
know,
still get
like, that's
that,
gone
but
now.
not
I
to the
don't think it
extent.
is. I don't think you will because there'll never be a showcase again where Xbox and PlayStation are one after the other, ever.
Not like on the day or day
That's what I'm
day by
saying.
day. Yeah,
That's
no,
what
we'll
I'm
never get
saying.
that. But I'd still think like it's the internet. The internet will always be like there'll always be like around the Summer Game Fest, someone will be like, okay, so we've got the opening night live for Summer Game Fest, and then the day after it'll be Xbox. 2 days later it'll be Sony.
Yeah, I
Then
don't
there'll
think
be
we'll get that
Ubisoft one.
anymore.
You don't?
I don't. No,
I mean,
I
we've been getting
don't.
it for the
I
last
think.
few years, like without
Yeah, but I feel like
E3.
now E3 is gone. I feel like it'll be a case of Xbox will give opening night live a couple of announcements, and then they'll save the rest of theirs for their day, which is 4 months down the line. And the same thing for PlayStation. I just don't think. Well, I don't remember when did we get them anymore? Like we not
Around
as close together, yeah, but it's usually a week in between or something like that, right? It's not usually days, if I remember rightly.
I'm pretty sure the last one was a few days between.
Was it?
I think they try and stick
Yeah.
around the Summer Game Fest time because again, Jeff does like for
Jeff
all
does the calendar thing.
yeah, for all the slack we give him, he's very good at kind of trying to arrange companies to work around that area, just for the hype of gaming. And I think yeah, like the last few have always been around the same time, like within a few days
You're,
apart.
I think you're right. I'm probably wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just misremembering, but yeah, it's it's one of them things, mate. It's one of them things. It's not nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. It's not bad. I want it to go back to how I want it. Okay.
R.I.P. 3.
But yeah, rest in peace, E3. You will be missed forever, and I'm annoyed I never got to you. I'm annoyed I never got to you.
So here's the question before we move on: is there any events that you have not been to now that you are going to make an extra effort to go to, just in case something goes horribly wrong?
I mean, I guess going to a PAX would be a good idea now. PAX South, I think, or East, one of the two. I think one of them's better than the other. I think maybe East is better than South, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'll probably get myself to a PAX at some point, but again, I'll be honest, and this is definitely privilege, being in a privileged position of doing this for a long time. I'm just not hot on cons anymore. You know, you've been to a con with me. I am very jaded. I am very. It's hard, man, especially. Now, again, I'm in a privileged position where obviously I work with a lot of publishers and people send me games and things like that. I just don't feel the need to queue up and play insert game title here. Then I've probably already got a code at home for that game, or I can get invited to a preview event or something like that if I really wanted to, you know? Which again, very privileged position I'm in. I've been working a long time in the industry. I totally understand. I like going to a con for a day. I don't like doing a con for 4 days anymore. Like that first day I've got the energy. After that, and again, I'm old. I'm an older person compared to in the industry now. I'm getting old. Getting old. Yeah, I just don't have that same energy for it, you know, like I used to, bro. I remember my first Comic-Con ever. Me and Haley paid to go. The PS4 had just been announced and it was there at the show floor for the first time. And I remember us like sprinting to Assassin's Creed just so I could touch the controller. I remember going to Game had the Xbox One. They had like a thing before that came out. I remember queuing up and going to that so I could touch the controller and play Forza and play Dead Rising, like, you know, those things. And then now, obviously, 10 years down the line, or 8 or 9 years down the line, I'm very privileged, but I was one of the first people to ever have the Xbox Series console in the UK. So, you know, it's just life has changed in a very crazy different way, but I'm still super excited about it. Nonetheless,
I was just say we've all seen the GIF of you being excited hugging your Xbox.
I mean, I was the face of Xbox for a while there.
I may or may not insert into the video right here.
Perfect.
But no, for me, I think the one that I want to go to more than anything, and I think it'd be really good if we could make content around it, is Gamescom.
Yeah, Gamescom.
I think
It's close to us. Close enough.
It is, yeah. I mean, get to an opening night live for that, and getting like I said, maybe spending just a day like trying to get interviews with devs and things like that. It'd be fun. But yeah, I'm very much like you with the case of like I'm getting to that point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to spend hours queuing to play 10 minutes of a game that I know in 6 weeks I'll be playing it anyway.
Exactly.
And that's not a case of just like getting a code. Like more often than not, I'll buy a game that I love. But like, yeah, there's very much like there's a certain joy about playing a game first before anyone else gets hold of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, after a while that kind of the shine gets wipes off really quickly after you spent 10 hours on your feet.
I think for me, it's that thing of like, I don't need to play this to have an opinion of it anymore because I know I'm gonna play it anyway and buy it or whatever it is. Like Alan Wake, I bought, and like, I didn't need to
Same.
play that at Gamescom. I didn't need to play that anywhere else. Like I just knew that was a game that I was gonna play and enjoy. So yeah, man. But yeah, rest in peace, E3. You will be missed. You will be missed. Let's jump into what's been in our box, bro. What I know you've been sick this week. You played anything or nothing at all?
So I've been playing a couple of mobile games, nothing exciting. Sonic Dash is so it's one of the games that's available on Netflix for their mobile. It's basically an endless runner, but it's actually quite fun. Definitely check it out if you've got Netflix. It's got a really good loop of like every step is like just, if you just play one more run, you'll get that next little unlock and kind of things like that. Very good. But I finally today, after being bedridden for the last few days, got out of bed and played a bit of Alan Wake. The new Final Draft DLC, or New Game Plus, I guess, is what they're calling it. So they're calling it the Final Draft. That dropped earlier last week.
Yeah.
So I started my run through on that again. It's so far is shaping up to be just a standard New Game Plus, with the odd little hint that something is different.
Oh.
So, like, there is the odd extra manuscript page that I find, which kind of, again, I'm not going to talk about the main story for those that haven't played it, but it hints to some of the ending, like, concepts.
Okay.
So if you have finished the game and you want to just stick it on story mode, run through everything really quickly. It does a really good job of, like, you start off with your single weapon, but it is whatever upgrade you got in it. And then when you get to your first shoebox, you'll find all the other weapons that you found. So you can just use them to just like speed run through. Again, not a spoiler. It's been confirmed there is a second ending that you only get by playing the final draft. So that's why I'm speed running it on story mode at the moment, just so I can get that next ending. But yeah, that's pretty much been it. I started Avatar as well. I've not got too far into it. I'm pretty much still on the on rails section. So I've made it out of the base at the beginning, and I've done a few of the bits where it's like, just here's how learning how the world works.
Yeah.
God damn, that game is beautiful.
Very good looking game.
That is a sexy little game, I'm just saying. But yeah, they've done a wonderful job of like capturing what Pandora looked like in the movies.
Did I talk about Avatar last week when I played it? I think I forgot.
I don't know.
I think I might have forgot. Yeah, I think I forgot. So yeah, I played Avatar as well. I also played Alan Wake. So I'll start with Avatar and go back to Alan Wake.
Okay.
Yeah, I've played probably about 6 hours of the game, but I've done the same part twice. Again,
yeah.
Work for Ubisoft, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, blah blah blah. Yeah, I like what I've played. I see it got sevens, a lot of sevens in the reviews. I see it as a 7. It is definitely a 7 in its gameplay. It doesn't feel like it's going to be very complicated. Like, I agree with you 100%. The environment is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I like it. I'm probably going to play it to completion because I like those type of games, And I see a lot of comparisons. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's Far Cry, Avatar, Far Cry, Avatar, Far Cry." I'm like, yeah, I guess, but could you not say that about most open world games then? Like, if it's first person open world, is that a Far Cry game? No. Like, you're not running around doing towers and things like that. You can, like, there is compounds and things like that you can get to. But I'm enjoying it a lot. Like, for what it is. I enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. And again, people say, like, oh, it's Avatar Far Cry. How is that a bad thing? Far Cry is a good series. The Avatar films are a gorgeous series and an interesting enough story to want to play it. It's like, I think it's a great combination. And yeah, 7, like, depending on how the story goes, maybe even an 8 right now. I'm very interested to keep playing that. Now that I'm feeling a lot better, I can finally jump in and do so. I should also say, obviously, code provided by one MC Fixer, as in lieu of Ubisoft as well. Thank you for that.
Package I'll probably show next week.
We can't show your package on the internet, mate.
It's not that package.
Okay.
I got the collector's edition.
Ooh, yeah. I kind of want to see your package now.
Okay, well, next week, yeah. They sent it to the wrong address. So they sent it to my mum's house. Mum was like, why is there a big box here for you? I'm like, I don't know, I didn't order nothing. And then like told my sister to open it. It's like Avatar. I was like, oh, perfect. Okay,
I'm on
I'll
my
have
way.
that. I'll come and get that tomorrow. No problem.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
problem. Yeah, so I played Alan Wake, I finished it, completed it, it is done. Again, no spoilers, of course, but yeah, fantastic game. Definitely in my top 10 list of this year. Probably in my top 5 if I'm being totally honest with you. Survival horror fans, we ate this year. We ate this year. Resident Evil 4, fantastic. Dead Space remake, fantastic. Alan Wake, fantastic. Like honestly, we ate this year. I'll probably go into more details about it another time, but if you haven't played Alan Wake 1, I would suggest you go and play that before doing Alan Wake 2. I do think Alan Wake 2 is a fantastic game, but I do think it leaves a lot to be desired if you haven't played the first game. If you don't know certain characters, the world can be a little confusing, I think. But
No,
yeah, Alan
I'd
Wake,
agree.
it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. I think they did a relatively okay job of making Saga's confusion kind of
Yes.
alleviate that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think you cannot go wrong by either playing the remastered version that's on Epic and consoles, or yeah, just watching a video of all the like. There's a lot of story breakdowns out there. You'll find a good one. I know our friends over at Future have got a good one out there as well. So yeah, definitely go check out them. But yeah, no, definitely play Alan Wake 2. It's a reason it won so many awards.
Yeah, no, definitely. More about Baldur's Gate, don't need to talk about that. And then last but not least, 2 quick ones. Rainbow Six new season, been playing that. I like the updates they've done on that. So now they've gotten rid of Terrorist Hunt, but they now have like an AI training mode. So you can load in with like 5 randoms, or you can load in with your party, and you can play like a normal match, but it's just against AI. So you can actually learn the maps now. You can learn different peaks and things like that. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a very smart thing. You can set the difficulty of the AI as well.
I was going to ask, like, what's the difficulty level like for that?
It's the easy is very easy. So you can spend a lot of time. They're not very smart. But yeah, I'd love to jump back in, but Rainbow is just, it's full of people that are so good at the game. It's ridiculous. I have fun when I play, but they've got a new mode at the moment, which is the freeze for all, which is their limited time event, and it's so much fun. You load in with a character. It's a different loadout each time. They got specific loadouts, and you're on this new map that you go around. It's a free-for-all shootout, obviously, and then when you die, you go on top of the roof and you throw snowballs down. If you hit a person with the snowball, it shows they're detected on the map for everybody else.
Nice.
Yeah,
Interesting.
lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing that for about 3 hours over on the UB channel, which was very, very good. Very, very.
Dare I ask how long you spent throwing snowballs compared to running around?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't win. I never won a single match. I came 3rd once.
Nice.
But yeah, it was good. I had a good time with it. I had a very, very good time with it. And then last but not least, I know another UB title. I do apologize, but Skull and Bones Closed Beta is obviously out right now. We gave away a load of codes over on the channel, and yeah, man, it's Skull and Bones. I enjoy it. I haven't got any further than I got before previously. But I like Skull and Bones. I hate to say it. Like, I feel like the internet's gonna hate me for it, but I think it's gonna be a 7, maybe 8, 7 and 8. I feel like one of those two in that region when it comes to reviews. I think if you are looking for a pirate game where ship combat is obviously the main focus, you're going to really enjoy this game. And if you're expecting anything else like third-person combat or exploration, VR, third-person and things like that, you're not going to enjoy this game. This game is very much a pirate ship game, and if you enjoy the combat from what I'm told Assassin's Creed Black Flag pirate ship stuff, you're going to love this game. Simple as that.
Yeah, I feel like they've been very upfront that this is a pirate ship game. Like, it's not a pirate game.
It doesn't stop people from being confused. They were all pretending to be confused.
Yeah, it's like, no, but I want this. This is the game I want. Well, this is the game they're making. Either get on board or go overboard.
Literally, get on board or go overboard. I like it. I like it.
I'm here all week.
Well done. yeah, let's jump into this week's dashboard, shall we? Let's get into some news. First piece of news, we have Game Pass Ultimate has now been added to MetaQuest. So the things you need to know about this one is players with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate can now enjoy hundreds of games with their MetaQuest headsets. Jesus words. With the Xbox Cloud Gaming beta app. You've got Forza on there, Hi-Fi Rush. All of the titles you'd expect to be there are there waiting for you on your MetaQuest headset. You get it by downloading the app from the Quest store and launching it on the headset. Exciting. I mean, in a way, it's exciting. I think it's a very smart move from Meta, if I'm honest, to allow this, because obviously they're going to lose out on money because some of these titles will
also be on Meta.
Well, they won't.
Actually, no, because Meta games will be VR title. This isn't a VR.
This isn't a VR title. This is no, they won't know. Yeah,
they're not losing anything.
Now.
The reason this is smart is I genuinely looked at how easy it would be to get a MetaQuest free as soon as this news dropped. That
will you use it?
Yes, 100%. I know I'll use it for things like this. I'll just if I want a quiet hour or so, maybe the missus is watching something on TV, I'll just fire up another screen somewhere with my MetaQuest, or maybe I'll play Beat Saber with the MetaQuest. So there are definitely reasons I would play this game, and I want to get into VR titles more as well anyway, because the industry is still kind of supporting them on a regular basis. Yeah. We've had things like Village and Resident Evil 4 VR in its way, and things like that. So yeah, this is exciting. I always like the idea of not so much the VR side, but the AR side of it, of being able to have a floating screen in your normal environment. And I think the MetaQuest 3 offers pass-through anyway.
Yes, I think so.
I know it's got external cameras, so I don't know if they'll use that for pass-through. So it'd be interesting to maybe just use it and have my PC and have a TV up there floating or whatever.
I saw a TikTok the other day of a guy cooking.
Yeah,
he was cooking his dinner while he was watching TV and doing it all in MetaQuest, and I was like, that seems like a lot of work, but hey, if it works for you,
it's the future,
works.
Right? It's the future.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction, It's definitely a step in the right direction. They're still very expensive, is what I will say. It's still £479 right now on Currys. Probably get for about $4.50 on Amazon.
Yeah, is that the 3?
Yes, free.
Because I don't think the Game Pass app is available on 2.
It's not. I've got 2, and it's not available on that.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, I'm assuming as soon as this news dropped, you went to check and try it out.
No, I didn't check and try it out. I just checked. I just had a look to see if it was compatible online. But I do. The thing is, I do like the Quest a lot. I remember when we first got it, we were using it. We don't have a lot of room in this space that we live, so it wouldn't be great. But I know Haley loved it. She ended up buying Beat Saber on it and having a great time with it. It does kind of make me want a free just to have it, but I don't know, man. Again, it's one of those ones where I'm like,
is it going to go this?
It's a lot of money, and it's just going to sit around not being used. Am I really going to do this again? Yeah, I don't know. Again, if anyone wants to send me one and when I start reviewing VR games, I'm definitely interested.
I was going to say, if there's any co-op games you want to send us to,
yeah, good point.
We'll the My Xbox and Me crew would definitely test those out to its full extent.
My Xbox and Me Extra. I'll do a segment where we do VR and PlayStation games. Perfect.
My VR and Me coming soon. You heard it here first.
Don't be surprised. But yeah, it's still big news. I mean, I'll be honest, the Game Pass stuff definitely helps.
Yeah.
It definitely helps me. It definitely makes me go, oh, maybe I do want this.
Yeah. I mean, this leads into what Microsoft have been trying to do with we want 2 billion people playing our games. Is it's just another avenue that people who wouldn't have had it before or may not have had access to it before now can be all those people the VR evangelists can be all right, cool. Now I can play Forza or Redfall or other good games on my VR headset now that technically the VR headset wouldn't have been able to run. The fact that it's using the cloud infrastructure, which again, that is the thing. I did play a couple of games. I tried to play a couple of games. We mentioned it earlier. So I tried to play, again, going into cloud gaming, I was using it for Persona 5 Tactica, and I started The Man Who Erased His Name as well, the new Like a Dragon. So only for playing 20 minutes or so just to test it out. But works perfectly fine. I give me that in a full VR headset where I can digitally create a 100-foot screen and play video games on it. Oh, the
You're
future.
kind of making me want to buy this now. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're making me want to buy it, and I really shouldn't, because I know I'm not gonna use it.
I mean, I might have a conversation with the boss later. My boss, not you. My actual boss, which is Mrs. Despawn, and see if she'll be okay with me buying it.
Yeah, I don't need to ask. I could just buy it. It could be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of need,
Hmm.
I'm not the
You
boss.
need
So,
permission.
yeah, I'm not the boss. So
All right, let me know if I should buy this, everyone. Email in my Xbox and me podcast@gmail.com or hit me up in the Discord. Yes or no? Let me know. Let me know. We do have a question here, though. What are your opinions on xCloud now being available on MetaQuest? Seems odd to have Game Pass on a VR headset when Xbox doesn't have VR games. I think that's the point for it, right? It's not supposed to be. That one's for Stead, by the way. They're not. That's not supposed to be what they're going for. They're not going for VR titles. They're going for an application. It to me is more appealing now, and that's what MetaQuest knew. Because at the end of the day, I probably won't buy too many MetaQuest games.
Yeah,
I would probably use it for. I'd probably use it for like the NBA got like NBA Pass on it, so you can watch games and like you're in the stadium. And if I tell you right now, if Tottenham came out with a VR season ticket, touchline season ticket, I'd never go to a Tottenham game again. If I can get that same atmosphere and the sound and everything in this headset, and I'm in the seat at the halfway line, not cold, not having to travel there, travel back home, bro.
Not spending £15 on a beer. Come on.
Not. Do you know what? I don't ever begrudge paying for food or drink. That's one thing that I don't actually moan about. I moan about way more other things, like things that I shouldn't moan about. Than
dealing with the actual
£15
people
there.
there.
But yeah, exactly. Having to sit. I'm a big boy, so sitting next to a guy that's the same size as me, and we're both like this, and we're like trying to watch the football and enjoy it, but we're both trying not to invade each other's personal space. If they came out with something like this, I would be all over it. I'm not gonna lie, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's the future, right? This is what we're after. And again, to answer Stead's question, like we said, like this isn't Xbox trying to encroach on the VR market. This is Xbox trying to get those VR users into Game Pass, which is a perfect thing for this. Like they're trying to get people that will like, well, maybe I'll use that. I don't know if they still do it, like the £1 a month thing.
I think they have a couple of deals on still.
Kind of like maybe someone will be like, all right, I've got a VR headset. I can get access to all these titles in Game Pass. I'll try it out for a month. And then they forget to cancel it and they pay for 6 months or whatever. That's why they do these deals. So they can get more people into the ecosystem. And it makes perfect sense. Like we've been speaking for the last 5 minutes about like how we're thinking about buying a MetaQuest just because of this. There will be people on the other side who'll be just like, I will get Game Pass because it's now available on my VR headset.
I just added one to my basket.
Oh no. Do you want to add 2 and I'll send you the money, yeah?
Your wife's like, why has Fixer got a donation for £450? Oh, I had to, charity stream.
Yeah, charity begins at home, right?
Next up, Hideki
Kamiya.
I say it wrong. I'm not gonna lie, the Invisalign doesn't help right now. I'm gonna be honest. On why he left Platinum Games, you know exactly who we're speaking about. Quote, my work with Platinum Games was based on a relationship of trust with the company. I decided to leave because I felt that the direction the company was heading in was different from my beliefs as a developer. Without that element of trust, I couldn't continue working there. So I left so I could continue working in what I consider to be the right way. I don't think games as products, but rather as a work of art. I want to put my artistry into games and deliver games that could only be made by me. So players that, but I find weird there's no way the quote is he said his own name.
No,
maybe
yeah.
Hideki. So players can enjoy Hideki games exactly as they are. I decided to leave the company and forge my own path to continue making games that reflect the developers who made them. End quote. Yarmi writes in and says, while Hideki i.e., saying that he left Platinum Games due to them wanting to focus on growing and him wanting to focus on artistry of making games. Do you think that was the right thing? Should companies go back to the old days where they made strange and wonderful games, or just try to make the next big franchise? I'll be honest, I don't think there's a right or wrong here. I think there's a your decision, if I'm honest with you. For me, Hideki can make the decision he wants like he has, which is he wants to make a game in a certain type of way. And I'm sure he's a very, 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 very talented individual who will probably be able to get the backing from that, just like a Kojima can and people like that. But I don't think that Platinum are wrong for wanting to grow in a way that probably their shareholders want them to, and the company itself probably maybe want to, some people. And I don't think that Hideki's wrong here. I don't think there's a right or wrong here. I think there's a make your own decision and live with the consequences, right? Like at the end of the day, I think, and that's where the conversation gets a bit shaky, because Hideki comes out, makes his next game, and it's not a hit. He is gonna have to answer to somebody who's put the backing behind him in terms of money. Not many people put money into artistry, not especially in games, expecting no return on their investment.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the truth of it. But Platinum as a company as well have not exactly hit games out of the park each time, have they? So
no,
I don't blame them for wanting to change their direction of how they do things as well. So I don't think either's wrong. I don't think either's right. I just think there's do what's right for quote unquote you, being the company you, and then Hideki himself as the you.
Yeah, I think there's a market for both options here, definitely. Like, publishers, developers want to make the best titles they can. They want to grow their company year on year. But at the end of the day, this is a creative industry, and the people that are making the games on the floor want to be creative. And if at the end of the day those two kind of things can't align in any way, if you can't find any common ground, then yeah, maybe it is better to separate and go your separate ways and do what works for you. I'm interested to see what Hideki does next. Like I say, his games have always been more on the interesting side. So yeah, definitely interested to see what he does. Interested to see what happens to Platinum now as well. Because again, from what I understand, like Hideki was basically spearheading their games for them.
Yep.
So I'm interested who's going to either A, step up, or if it's going to be like, say, like it becomes more like a Platinum title rather than a named developer title, as it were. But yeah, I don't think either of them are wrong in the decisions they've made. To answer Yami's question, should companies go back to the old days where they made strange and wonderful games? I don't think a lot of companies can.
No.
At the end of the day,
to answer that question itself, no, I don't think they should go back to that way, because a lot of companies put out crap games back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So movie tie-in games, should we get that back? Because you can't just take the good.
No,
that's what I'm going to like with this. You can't just take the good stuff, right? If you're going to say, "Oh, should companies go back to the old days?" Well, you mean the tie-in? What I'm trying to think of some of the first Avatar game, which was a tie into the film, and things like that. That just weren't great. They weren't great. I'm not saying they were terrible, but some every now and then you had a good one. But there's a lot of examples out there of just not great games. And
yeah, I think the way that I'm reading this, it's more the case of like, should developers take chances on with concepts,
I get what you're
interesting
saying.
Concepts? Like,
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think, like we've said this before. Like this, while it is a creative industry, it is also an industry. It's a business. So these companies are not going to take those added risks now. Like, games are more expensive to make, and like you can't really afford to have a miss anymore. There was a time back in the day where you could definitely afford to have a miss once or twice if you know you had another title coming up that was going to be a guaranteed hit. So you had things like, again, I think EA were pretty good, and Ubisoft as well, with the UbiArt stuff with the EA originals, where they'd have like smaller titles where you'd have those weird and wonderful things. And I think there is still a scope for that, but it is so rare now. You have to be huge enough to eat a loss and it not be a major issue. Again, I speak about it all the time. I love the indie industry, like the indie titles and that side of the industry. I think there's definitely scope there for the more weird and wacky titles that we'll see. But yeah, if you're talking like from AAA developers, I don't think there's going to be a lot that will take that risk anymore. It's just not the way the industry's gone anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. Next up, Baldur's Gate 3 isn't going to be coming on Game Pass, insists Larian Boss. Larian Boss has spoken to IGN in an interview talking about a plethora of different things, but the subject of Game Pass came up. And he said, "Oh, we always said from the let-go, it isn't going to be on Game Pass. It's not going to be on Game Pass," Vicken said. When Vinky, sorry, thank you. When asked whether Xbox had tried to pay them to put the game on the service, describing it as a sensitive question. Vecchi pointed out that Larian Studios is in the business of, quote, making a game that has a beginning, middle, and end. He has touted Baldur's Gate 3's lack of microtransactions, which has been praised in some quarters. We made a game, we made a big game, so I think there's a fair price to be paid for that. And I think that that's okay. We don't charge for you any microtransactions on top of it, so you get what you pay for. Up front, it's a big, meaty game. So I think that should be able to exist as it is. This also allows us to continue making other games. I think as a whole, I agree with exactly what he's saying. I do think maybe he shouldn't have said it when speaking about Game Pass, because I think the bag could have come along at a certain point in time.
When sales die out, like a year from now.
Maybe not even a year, maybe a couple of years from now, but they could have made another bag. And now, if this ever touches Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, bloody Epic Game Store, if this ever touches any of those places where they've been paid out for it, it's an instant, but you said, like, that's one of those things.
Yeah.
But the premise of what he's saying, I totally agree with.
Yeah, I've got no problems with his argument here about like the size and scope of this game. Like, they are well within their rights to expect the whatever it is, $60 to $70 for this game.
I'll tell you right now, and people are not gonna like the fact that I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I thought we've seen the conversation around GTA saying it. I'd happily, after playing this game, I would have happily played $100 for this game.
Yeah,
me personally, I would have happily paid it. That's just, I love this game so much. There is so much to it. Again, me and Haley played the other day. Ends up we're doing some little dungeon area that we're in, and we play the game very different to maybe most people, which is like run to quest. We don't do that. We explore the entirety of the map before we don't just run off. There's a quest, go do that. No. I want that blank space on the map. We're running in that direction. Let's see what we get into over there. And we did that, ended up in a cave, died like 6 times, loved it. Loved every minute of it. You know? And Jesus, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate, it's now out on Xbox. Please play Baldur's Gate. It is such a fantastic game.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'm so glad it's on there, so we can now make it a game of the year. Spoilers.
Next up and last one, Ubisoft delist the crew. On December 14th, Ubisoft will be delisting the crew from all, I think it's already done actually, from all game storefronts, including Steam as well. This happened earlier in the day before Ubisoft it commented on it, but they've put out now that they will be turning off the servers April 1st, 2024. To be expected. Honestly, I hate to say it. The thing that makes this sad is the fact that if you do again, and I went to the newest crew event, right? So I met a bunch of the crew content creators and things like that. If you're someone like that makes the crew content and maybe wanted to do the crew 1 versus the crew 3 or 10, you know, if they made 10 crew games, you won't be able to do that because the servers, it's an always online game. The service will be switched off. You won't be able to do that. And that's sad. I think I have fond memories of me playing the crew with Haley and her brother, just enjoying the game. Don't get me wrong. Was I going to go back and play it again? No, probably never. And I'd play the newest crew, but that's just how I am as a gamer. But yeah, it is sad. I don't blame Ubisoft though. If they've got 20 people playing the crew, why are they going to pay for the service to keep being maintained? It just doesn't make business sense.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's definitely going to be, like, in the back end, there'll be a kind of, there will be an analysis run on this. Of like, right, we've got this many people playing it. It costs this much money to run the servers. at some point it's costing us money just to keep them going. Why are
Mhm.
we doing that? And that's probably what's happened here. Like, again, this is the first in a trilogy of games. You've had the Crew, Crew 2, Crew Motorfest now. So you know, it's like the first game being delisted makes sense after a while. Like, have we got it on here? Like, when did the game actually initially launch? Like, how old is this game now?
I can check.
But yeah, while
Crew
you're looking that
1.
up, I mean, like, this isn't new. Like, a lot of companies do this. Once you get to a certain point in a game's life cycle, there's like the cost of returns is just it's not worth it having that up there. It'd be nice if there was a way for them to make it so it could be playable offline, but again, the amount of time and effort that it would take to just do that, like, it's not going to be worth it for them. Again,
Yeah.
like you say, for a game that is however old and like however many people are playing it.
December 2nd?
Okay.
Have a guess. Go on. What do you reckon?
2011.
2014.
Damn. Okay. So 9 years.
10 years.
Coming up at 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. Coming up on 10 years on it. So, yeah. I mean, and we've had 2 Crew games beyond that.
Mhm. Yeah, Crew 2, Crew Motorfest.
Crew 2 and then the Crew Motorfest.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's a shame to see it go, but some things have to come to an end, unfortunately.
Indeed.
Yep. Let's jump into Fix a Sack. Remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, please feel free to, because why the heck not, you know? Why the heck not? First question comes from Origin Cookie Man, who says, despite the breadth... Breadth? What the... Breadth? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not what that says, though, right?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, that's how you spell that. Interesting. Shout out to you, Origin Cookie Man. I don't think I've ever seen that word before in my life. Of the Game Awards showing from Xbox, do they have form for holding back for the start of the year? Do you anticipate news release or shadow drops from games that were not shown, e.g., Indiana Jones, Stalker 2, Unannounced 3, except no.
No.
Indiana
yeah.
Jones is still in development. It's
Mhm.
nowhere near ready. Stalker 2 hasn't got a release date, but I would imagine it'll be middle of the year.
I feel like, don't quote me on this, but I feel like Stalker 2 did get a release date because it was
No,
part.
2024. It got delayed.
All right, because I know it was part of the PC gaming show.
Yeah, it's still delayed. I think it got delayed though. It's just 2024 we know so far.
Okay. I'm looking it up just to be sure because
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one.
nope, just 2024. You are correct.
Yeah. Yeah,
we fact check here sometimes.
Since when? And
Since
then
now.
Unannounced 3 is going to carry on being Unannounced 3. I don't think you're going to get a shadow drop at all. No, I think Xbox have got something planned in terms of giving us some news relatively soonish. I hope, but no, I don't think it will be any of the titles you've put here or anything that we don't know about. I think we'll get a solid release window for games soon, but just not yet. Again, they've said that they're on to start releasing a game every quarter, right?
Yep. First party game every quarter.
Yeah, so we'll get something in the first quarter. I don't know what is actually. I need to sit down and actually figure out next year's Xbox releases. I don't know what's scheduled for the first quarter yet.
Not too sure. You've got to remember as well as like new games and stuff like that. Activision just got bought. They said that there will be no games releasing from Activision in 2023. 2023 ends in like 10 days.
True.
So there'll be a lot of Activision titles that could just shadow drop. I don't think we'll get any brand new games straight off the bat, but I could definitely see a lot of Activision titles and Blizzard titles ending up in like PC and console Game Pass. So yeah, there's definitely those kind of things that could definitely shadow drop. But yeah, for brand new like first party releases that are coming, I don't think there's anything major that we know about that would be ready.
No, I agree. I mean, they've got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is like a they've got the marketing for, right? So I feel like they're going to try and do a good job of like marketing games as if they're Xbox first party games in the early start of the year. But no, I don't know what we have coming exactly. I usually do like a thing where I'll do a bunch of research and like try and get the dates in my memory. So I'll do that at the end of the year and go from there. But yeah, hope we answers your question, Origin Cookie Man. Eldozo says there've been rumors floating around the Twitterverse, you mean the Xverse, about a new console potentially in 2026. True or not? What did you want to see from a new console if or when it comes? I hate these questions. I absolutely hate these questions.
Yeah.
I don't know, Eldozo, unfortunately. I again, as a man who doesn't really use his Xbox, I'll be totally honest, doesn't get turned on very often. I'm mainly a PC guy now, which uses the Xbox Game Pass app and things like that. I use my Xbox to watch stuff on sometimes, mainly football. I don't know what I'd want. As long as it can keep up with the everyday PC and it isn't getting left behind graphically, that's a key component for me. The console already does better ray tracing. I would have been better off playing Alan Wake on my Series X than my PC because of the ray tracing.
It's so good. I played it on Series X. So
there you go. Yeah, I would have been better off, which I'm kind of upset that I didn't, but hey, that's life. Yeah. But new features, I honestly, those I couldn't even answer, mate. I don't know. I mean, smaller, different design, which again we've had a lot of leaks, so we kind of know we kind of know what's coming in a sense. We don't know to the exact T, but there's potentially something coming, which was to be expected, right?
Yeah, we talked about the leak from the FTC trial, and yeah, there was a ton of stuff that was included there. A lot of technical specs in there. Personally, the things that I would like to see from a new generation console, I don't think we'll get the exact same, but I'd like them to take advantage of things like, like DLSS that you get on PC.
Yeah.
With like AI frame building and things like that. I'd like to see that kind of tech come to consoles, be a bit more prevalent and just being able to, like, granted it might up the price a little bit if we're talking about like having a graphics unit inside there that could do that. But with cloud computing and things like that, I'd like that to take advantage of some of that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, it's so hard to answer these kind of questions when you're talking like something that's technically could be 2 years out.
I'm not a tech guy either.
Yeah.
So I don't have the answers, which is a shame because I just don't know what I want. I'm very much the consumer of,
does it work?
Give me. Does it work? Like, that's just who I am as a consumer, right? Like, does it work? Can I play it? Does it play games? Play games fast? Loads of fast. Load fast? Look pretty? That's all I care about.
What I would, I don't necessarily need it. Like, it's not something I personally want, but I'd like it to be able to consistently at 4K 60, just to shut up all the people that argue about that being a thing. I'm so sick of that being an argument online. It's like, oh, but it doesn't run 4K 60. Like, does it run and is it fun? That's what I want it to do.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, Despawn, and you know it.
You're right. No. Frame rates are all that matter.
If it isn't frame rates, then who cares?
Facts. You got me there. All right. Fair. I want more frames. Give me more frames.
I kind of like the idea of it being circular, though. I will say that. From what we saw beforehand, I do like the circular. I know some people didn't. I like if it's smaller, like an Alexa, that sort of size. I'm all for that.
That's the thing. If I was unsure about it being a circular thing because every now and again, I depending on my setup, I may have it set on its side. I don't know how that's going to be possible without a standalone stand.
Yeah.
But like, again, I say that as my Xbox, you just see in the corner here, has been stood up since day one. Like, yeah,
mine's laid down. Both of mine are laid down. The two we have in the house are both laid down, but that's just us.
Yeah, if it's smaller and stands upright, that's fine by me.
Fair enough. Last question here we have from Origin Cookie Man that says, after starting to play Alan Wake 2, I've been inspired to investigate the disappearance of Mr. Matt P. Video. As some of the last people to have seen him, I obviously have questions. If you needed to recover Matt P from a supernatural place of existence known as your wife, Rich, and you, what item would you use to summon him back onto the podcast? Hashtag bring back Matt P. Hashtag stay in the light, Matt P. Hashtag has he joined the FPI? Great question. So just
fantastic question.
Matt's just busy. Matt hasn't left us. There's been nothing like that. Matt's just busy.
Matt's just busy. He's not in the dark place.
Yeah, as far as we know, he's not in the dark place. That's a great question. What would we use? To be honest with you, it's just kind of, I guess, can I announce this? I guess kind of.
Do it.
I can't really announce. I can't. No, I better not, just
Do it,
in
you
case it
coward.
doesn't come. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say
Okay,
anything.
okay.
We got stuff brewing for next year, right?
Mhm.
And I love Matt, and we've met up in real life multiple times, stuff like that, right? But like, I feel like I've been the most open on the podcast about like my personal life, and then like
Mhm.
about gaming and stuff. I don't know what Matt's into still. Still
I
to this day, I couldn't tell you what I could. You got something?
I have.
Go on.
I know exactly what I would summon Matt P video back to the podcast with, because it's something he always brings to the podcast. It's a bad take.
Oh wow, yeah. We just walk around saying bad takes,
Just
and he
bad
pops
takes.
back up. He
Yeah.
pops back up.
The Switch is the #1 console. Boom, here he is. I love you, Matt.
Yeah, no, but yeah. So no, yeah, I can't think of anything. I guess a copy of The Artful Escape. Maybe that, just throwing that around the room. Hopefully, will pop up.
Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, Elden Ring DLC, Life of P DLC. Yeah, I don't know. Great question though. I love the question. I really do. I love it.
We'll miss you,
Let's
Matt.
plug, and get ourselves out of it. Despawn, what you got to plug this week, dude?
What am I going to plug? So I don't have really anything to plug, so I'm just going to plug the Twitch as always. Go check out the Twitch, twitch.tv/by Xbox and me. Also the YouTube on the same side. We're streaming both at the same time. We are gearing up to do 3 streams a week coming up in the new year. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. I don't know what we're streaming this week yet, but
We streamed the finals. We didn't talk about that, but
we did.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Kinda fun.
streamed the finals last week, which was a ton of fun. My first time playing. We had a great time playing it. It was a good stream over on the Twitch channel and the YouTube.
I listened to at least 2 call-outs.
At least when you listen to call-outs, we actually played well.
Yeah. To be fair, we played that cash out mode. I think we locked that down.
You just love going against the grain, is what I've learned though. Like you don't like
Stop making content.
But yeah, yeah. I don't know. It was a good time. We had a good time. But yeah, Crash was busy this week. Matt not here this week. I'm sure they'll be back next week. Yeah, we're gonna try and do a stream on Tuesday. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Maybe we'll see what happens. If not, we'll announce it in the Discord and on Twitter. Either way, so go follow us everywhere. I'm at MC Fixer. Despawn's at Despawn Games, and my Xbox and me is at New at Paul Despawn.
At Paul Despawn.
Oh, God, I'm rusty.
I did change it like 6 years ago. It's fine.
Yeah, just hit us up. We're trying to do more content. We're almost there, and we're almost at the end of the year. People have asked, so I'm going to answer. No, there's no break for my Xbox and me when it comes to Christmas and things like that. Like, we've never taken breaks around Christmas. We're not planning on taking breaks around Christmas. Nah, Christmas week is not next week, so there'll be a normal episode next week, and then the 29th there'll be a normal episode, and then the 5th there'll be a normal episode. Nothing changes here at my Xbox and me, so don't think there's going to be a pre-record or anything like that. We do want your suggestions for Game of the Year. We did get one on TikTok. I don't know if you saw this. We did get one on TikTok. I was tagged in it. It was from
Anubis, I believe.
totally forgot. Anubis. That's exactly what it was from. Perfect Anubis. By the way, it was the perfect format for it. Perfect format, perfect timing, perfect everything. So yes, if you want to hit us up with your videos, landscape or portrait, Despawn will edit it nicely either way. Hit us up with your videos and your Game of the Years starting now, just so we can add them into our episode for the week of the 1st. I mean, the week that's ended on the 7th. So you need them in by the 4th, I guess.
I would say get them in before the end of this year, just so that I'm not chasing.
Would be preferable.
Yes.
Yes. So make sure you hit us up with your Game of the Year videos and voice notes if you're not comfortable with being on video. And you can email them to myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can send them to us via Discord, or send us a Google Drive link and we'll just download it from there. But yeah. We'll make a thing in the Discord for that as well. All right. Until next time, we'll love you, leave you, and see you later. Goodbyes.